Hi, everybody. It is November 30, 2019. I want to apologize for these videos that are posting with no audio. I do not know what is going on. I was very careful to make sure that the audio was working. See, I have a banner at the top of my screen, and it shows me that the audio is working when I am doing videos with this capture program. So when I woke up today to see no audio, no audio, no audio, I do not know what's going on. If this posts with no audio, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. What I am looking at right now, this banner, it is telling me audio on. It's working. Every time I speak, I see the light. It's flashing. Okay. I also want to say thank you so much, all of you, who left comments under my recent Just Talking videos. I get a little nervous posting Just Talking videos because throughout the years, I have received comments that are not so nice. Some quite obscene, which really is remarkable. So, when I share my thoughts, and this has been with me throughout my entire adult life, any time that I have tried to have a conversation about serious matters, oh, there goes Carol, heavy Carol, dark Carol, serious Carol. Oh, wow. Roll of the eyes. So, the Just Talking videos, when I've posted on YouTube, actually, the comments get more vicious and it's hard to take. So it lifted me up to see how many of you have similar thoughts. The kindness, the support, it really did lift me up. So I so appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Weather warfare. Militaries have taken over weather. Mother Nature has been, unfortunately, put to rest. That is what is taking place. The weather warfare that is taking place all over the world is horrifying. But what is more horrifying? Trying to talk to our fellow citizens in our respective countries. I've heard from an awful lot of you. Australia, Scotland, Ireland, England, Bosnia, Germany, all over. You're alone. You can't find people to talk to. There's serious matters that what is truly incomprehensible is that these matters concern everyone in the world. These matters concern the people who refuse to engage in conversation and do the research to find out what is happening. Instead, we have a majority of our fellow citizens in our respective countries who I guess have just given up thinking for themselves and have allowed mainstream media, government officials, quote-unquote experts, to think for them. It's climate change. Now, we have mountains of evidence, and I'm going to provide some of that evidence in this video. We've got mountains. I mean, it continues. That mountain just continues to grow and grow and grow, get higher and higher and higher. But facts and evidence, I guess, are obsolete now. So we're in danger. This weather warfare is no joke. So many of my subscribers have already suffered the consequences of having their homes burned, well, hit with directed energy weapons, or flooded out intentionally. And we have so much going on now that you would think, because what we hear from people, oh, I've never seen anything like it, never seen it, whether it's a flash flood, whether it's a fire, never seen anything like it. That is the common phrase now. Well, when you've never seen anything like it, it should trigger questions. It should beg questions. And it should motivate an adult to try to understand what's happening. Well, it's just climate change. Okay, look. If it were climate change, these events would not happen overnight, but it's not really overnight. I mean, in the recent years, we have seen flash flooding where towns and cities are sitting under 3 feet of water. The rain has stopped and the water just stays there. All right. All across the country, we have problems with the water treatment plants and the drainage all over the country. Why? Your tax dollars were supposed to go for the maintenance of infrastructure. So I guess there was no maintenance of infrastructure. So a question should be, where'd my money go? But as I have in a whole lot of videos posted on that New World Order insider in 1969, Dr. Day, speaking on what would be happening in the United States over the coming decades. He's speaking in 1969. Dr. Day was an insider. And one of the things that he said several times when he was giving this talk, I guess he was ordered to, do that disclosure, for these sick, twisted psychopaths. Well, as long as we tell them what we're going to be doing, then when we start doing it, if they don't stop us, we don't have any karma attached, because we've told them. And they didn't stop us. So, one of the things Dr. Day said, people don't ask the right questions. They're too trusting. Okay. So we're seeing a lot of very strange new happenings taking place. And when you have most of your adult population just sitting back, doing absolutely nothing, it means you, me, we're in danger. We are all in danger because of good men and women sitting around doing nothing and allowing evil to flourish. Weather warfare. San Diego. What I'm going to be showing you has taken place in the last 2 days. And I don't know how long this is going to be, but I need to show you the evidence. What was happening on radar? Very important.
A Thanksgiving storm out of the Gulf of Alaska wreaks havoc across the county. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Richard Allen.
And I'm Amanda Shonsky. Carlo and Barbara Lee Edwards have the night off. Treacherous driving conditions and flooding are making life miserable for many today, including residents at an RV park in La Mesa, others at a Nestor apartment complex. We have team coverage beginning with Heather Hope in La Mesa. Heather?
And so many did not imagine their Thanksgiving Day going like this, Amanda and Richard. Here in this RV park, evacuations have already taken place as many have already left this property. It got to be so bad as rainwaters moved so fast, causing people's cars to crash into one another. Constant rain throughout Thanksgiving Day sent flooding across San Diego County.
It just started pouring rain. I've never seen it flooded down here like this.
In Sorrento Valley, Paula Southwick's silver BMW got stuck in the water.
Suddenly it was up to my doors. And I thought, well, there's no way out of this now.
San Diego Fire Rescue lifeguards carried Paula out of her car to safety.
It happened so suddenly, we don't have time to close off the road or anything. Someone just drove in the water.
Her BMW had to be towed, and she was told it would be a total loss, spoiling her holiday.
I'm on my way to my 95-year-old mother's Thanksgiving dinner.
Very slick along the freeway, rain caused a sudden slowdown. Then more south at Palm Avenue and Bayer Boulevard, multiple cars were submerged in the floodwater at the intersection with fire crews on scene helping out.
Our car crashed into someone else's RV.
Kiana and Daniel Haynes were forced to evacuate their RV in La Mesa.
When we got to our place, my car floated away all the way to the end.
The Sunland RV Resort vice president said the nearby riverbed sent rushing water onto the property.
It was probably up 6 or 7 feet. And so what we see right now at the end of the resort is probably about 4 feet underwater. We have over 200 guests here right now, and because we are under a mandatory evacuation, we are getting everybody off property.
Water came in from all directions.
That right there is probably 12 to 15 foot drop.
RV residents like Wyatt McCann raced to pack up precious belongings.
Just keepsakes, my daughter's like childhood items. That's it. I mean, everybody got safe. We got the dogs out during the flood. It was about 7 feet deep, rushing. Yeah, so our dogs just swam the way back.
Daniel Haynes packed up his truck as wife Kiana looked back in tears. Despite tremendous losses, these residents say they have so much to be thankful for.
I mean, as long as your family's safe, you know?
Okay. As long as your family's safe. That is number one. But what's number two? That you have the financial means to recover. And a whole lot do not. A whole lot now do not have the means. So what happens to them? Many become homeless. I just came across this video. Mysterious rainbow appeared in sky. No rain, no storm. Why did it appear out of nowhere? When I was living in Great Barrington, I walked out of my house, went around the back of the house, and all of a sudden, I saw the creation of a rainbow. The creation. Literally right before me, I saw a rainbow being created. There was no rain, nothing. It was pretty intense. Yeah, frequencies can do an awful lot. So, 3 tornadoes touched down in Metro Phoenix on Friday morning. National Weather Service confirms. 3 tornadoes touched down in Phoenix. I can tell you that even getting one in Phoenix is pretty rare. And getting one from this type of weather system is not too common. That was Andrew Deemer, a meteorologist with National Weather Service. So these supposed tornadoes caused damage to roofs, down trees, power poles. Power outages were, well, happening in an awful lot of states during Thanksgiving holiday. This is Arizona, and, well, some damage from high winds. Well, this doesn't look like tornado damage. very selective damage. My cat is sneezing, and I had a sneezing attack today. So, that looks kind of like bizarre tornado damage. I guess that is just a tree that had fallen. Look, they're calling what is the creation of high winds by electromagnetic frequencies tornadoes. So, 2 children dead, 1 missing. Can you imagine, parent, you have 3 children, and they're all gone. All gone.
Caught in the floodwaters. Authorities in Arizona say a vehicle with 9 people inside was crossing a creek when it was swept up by rushing water. It happened Friday on Tonto Creek near the New Mexico border.
On arrival, found a military-style vehicle actually almost completely submerged.
4 children and an adult got out of the vehicle and became stranded on a sandbar in the middle of the creek. A rescue helicopter picked them up. A woman on the shore was also rescued. Tragically, on Saturday, authorities confirmed they had found the bodies of 2 young children. The 3rd child is still missing.
Weather warfare. There's a lot of casualties. People are dying, children are dying. And many, I could imagine some leaving comments saying, well, they should not have crossed the creek. And these, did you hear the woman who was going to visit her 95-year-old mother say? And so did that, was it a fireman who rescued her? He said, it came up suddenly. These flash floods are coming up suddenly. So, yeah. So sudden that people are not even realizing that, you know, this whole turn around, don't drown, that's new meme, I guess, that is being repeated by mainstream media, meteorologists and reporters. Turn around, don't drown. Turn around, don't drown. Well, a lot of people who have drowned, a lot of people who get stuck, they're in waters that suddenly the rise, it comes on. Well, it's kind of like I've never seen anything like it. So,
almost every single unit has some kind of damage. Some just have a shingle or 2 missing. Others have multiple shingles missing. And actually this one over to our right has a bunch of them missing. And not only that, but now they're dealing with water damage inside. It's all Scott Lindsay can do to catch the water coming from his ceiling.
I've already emptied out a barrel.
Large buckets the size of trash cans sit lined up on the 2nd story of his condo at Barcelona Place near 7th Street and Northern.
It's like a waterfall. It went through the attic, went through here, went through this floor, down to the floor beneath. So it went through literally 3 floors.
It was a shocking awakening as he woke up to find his first floor full of water.
This was all flooded, completely flooded, included down on my wood floor.
While inside, it's floor-to-ceiling damage.
This is all giving.
Outside, his roof is missing a majority of the shingles, too.
I didn't anticipate the damage to be this severe.
Neighbors say the overnight storm sounded almost like a tornado rolling through Phoenix.
I like to say, you hear a freight train coming through.
Les Brick's home needs some fixing up now, too.
I have damage on my roof, the tiles, and then just some siding damage or shutter damage.
Around the rest of the complex, broken shingle pieces litter the driveways, trees uprooted, and partial wooden fences destroyed.
There's water damage extending to there.
Leaving those living here.
What can you do? I mean, you have homeowners insurance. Hopefully they take care of it.
Trying to get their complex put back together. And things are slowly getting fixed up around here. The pool gate's back up. We also had a bunch of branches off of this tree that were laying.
Do you see all of the fungal disease on this tree? Okay. Hopefully, homeowners insurance will cover it. Hopefully. Can't rely on it. You pay your premiums, but then you get to hear, well, we're not going to give you what you thought. Well, no, what you deserve. We're not going to give it to you. You're going to fight like hell. That's what most people go through. So, tornado damage. Now, one of the reasons why I included this clip was because very often, I think most of us, we post on events where the scale of damage is massive. Harvey, Paradise. Do you know how many apartments, people being evacuated, in like one town here, another town there? This is happening all over the country, and it is happening to so many people. I have come across so many videos where entire apartment complexes have been evacuated. For that individual who their apartment suddenly becomes uninhabitable because of damage due to a quote-unquote tornado, high winds, or flash flooding, to that individual, it's a disaster. But you're seeing this all over the country. You know, 15 here, 20 there. There are so many people who are really struggling. And it's really hard to get the big picture of all of the damage that is being brought about deliberately. But it's not just Paradise, and it's not just Harvey, but it's little towns where a few homes were flooded out due to a rain that you don't really hear about. So, here we go.
You're home to the major storm in the west, moving coast to coast in time for the busiest travel day of the year. Blizzard-like conditions slamming the Grand Canyon, closing roads, knocking out power, flash flooding north of Phoenix. Weather alerts from California to Massachusetts, heavy snow expected in the Northeast by Sunday. Here's ABC's Clayton Sandell.
Tonight, a grand blizzard in Arizona's Grand Canyon. A major winter storm now barreling east, set to create dangerous travel conditions for millions again. In Flagstaff, Arizona, drivers got stuck in snow, more than 9 inches falling there. To the south in Maricopa County, high water rescues on flooded roadways. This team leading the driver to safety.
We've got trucks trying to turn around here. We've got a truck on the other side stuck.
In Phoenix, residents are cleaning up their storm-damaged neighborhoods.
As you can see right here, this tree fell straight into one of the residents' homes here.
In the Southern California mountains, the storm bringing up to 4 feet of snow, closing roads and cutting power to tens of thousands. Heavy rains Thursday helped open up this sinkhole on the 10 freeway. This vehicle couldn't escape the mud. And outside San Diego,
on our way out of the campground, we saw water coming over the wall.
Floods soaking this RV park, with the rushing waters crashing together cars and a trailer. Here in Colorado, crews are cleaning up a rock slide along I-70. Both sides of the interstate shut down for a time today, creating big traffic backups. This system stretches to South Dakota, cars sliding off icy roads. With the storm now on the move, airlines are issuing travel waivers for the Midwest and the Northeast.
And with the snow and rain now snarling air travel here in the Rockies, at Denver's airport, more than 170 flights canceled and lots of delays. And of course, the worry is that many airports are going to see a weather ripple effect just as people are trying to get back home. Whit?
A weather ripple effect. So this was posted yesterday. Here, hurricane speed winds to hit parts of Colorado this week. Hurricane speed winds we have seen take place throughout this entire year. We now have landocanes, not hurricanes, landocanes. In fact, let's see, do we have one right now? Let's see, because, well, I do remember one twirling about. Ah, yes. Okay. Well, it looks a little bit different. Wow, it looks quite different. Whoop. Ooh, you're gone. Gone. Okay. Well, yeah. This was twirling about like a landocane. How does that happen? It happens when man is controlling the weather, and man can control, manipulate, steer those air masses, which I have shown in videos. So, you see all of the frequencies that are taking place, the microwaves, you got the extremely low frequencies, and yeah, now we are seeing very bizarre radar images that, well, I don't like looking at something and, can't figure it out, so did some research. I'll be posting a video on nanotechnology and the captures that I took earlier today right off the California coast. Obvious. These little nano balloons. Units. Sensors. So, I guess this is the big storm that's coming, which, well, let's see. Love the tail. Love, well, they call these train storms. This is a marvelous capture of nanotechnology right here. And look at these frequencies that have been going off in this area: Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, for about 36 hours. I haven't been on the radar much today, so I don't know what was happening earlier. But I am telling you, how are you guys feeling in this area? This video better have audio when I post it. Okay, so this whole thing is a creation. And let's look at, well, you're going to be getting hurricane winds, Colorado, from what? Oh, I'm sorry. When is it coming? Let's see. Maximum wind gusts from yesterday to the 2nd. Oh, okay. All right. Another wild ride of wintry weather headed your way. Colorado is bracing for another weekend of intense weather, bringing hurricane force wind speeds, freezing fog, avalanche dangers, and heavy mountain snow of up to 3 feet to parts of the region. From Friday evening into Saturday, dangerous wind chills as low as 20 degrees below zero expected in the mountains, capable of causing frostbite on exposed skin in as little as 30 minutes. Peak winds gusting up to 90 miles per hour from Friday to Saturday evening. So, do you have them? What's going on in Colorado? I would love to hear from you guys because it looks kind of quiet. But hey, you do have, well, lights flashing. I don't even know what this is. Some kind of electromagnetic frequency is going on in Colorado. Now, the storms, okay. I can't wait to do my video on nanotechnology and show you what I captured off the coast of California. It was truly remarkable. Now, are you getting a lot of flooding? Look at these extremely low frequencies right here blasting away. Okay. All right. Unbelievable. Now, Mother Nature does not create precipitation like this. Only man does. Only this psychopathic nut job who wants to bring a lot of heartache, a lot of destruction, a lot of damage. But can you see these extremely low frequencies taking place? Out of Mississippi, out of Alabama. Hang on. So they do refer to this nanotechnology, nano balloons, and how these, this nano weather, how these units actually communicate with one another. But no, this whole tale here to this storm, which, well, it's really been a creation this year. I did not see these tails on these storms going up east. And the 1,000+ mile storms, you know, from down here in the Gulf, you see this tail, and then a storm that goes all the way into Canada. New creations, but this tail thing is really very new because they are now, nanotechnology has taken over. It's taken over. All right. I do want to tell you that I'm going to be reading excerpts of this incredible article, Fixing the Weather and Climate, Military and Civilian Schemes for Cloud Seeding and Climate Engineering. And it goes through the history of weather modification. But General George C. Kennedy, 1947, he was the commander of the Strategic Air Command, said this: "The nation which first learns to plot the paths of air masses accurately and learns to control the time and place of precipitation will dominate the globe." President Johnson, who controls the weather, controls the world. Now, November 27 at 12:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Arizona, this was the creation of the storm, the tornadoes that you were hit with. Here comes your nano balloons into California. Extremely low frequencies are these long, very defined cutouts in what is plasma. Okay, but nanotechnology, in one of the documents that I was reading, wow, can they send these precipitation soldiers, is what I call them, precipitation soldiers, and have them amass, have them come together into a storm very rapidly. The speed with which they can create it all. See, we have another tail right here. The speed and the speed that they can create it, the speed that they can whip these things around is nothing like Mother Nature. So this is the 27th, the night before or the day before Thanksgiving. And you look at radar and satellite and you're like, whoa, air masses, what the hell's going on? Because, well, it doesn't seem to quite fit because, well, these air masses are going in every which way. Let's just go to the 27th at 10:48 p.m. 27th, but here they got your your storm going. It didn't take long. It just took, what? Well, the last one was at 12, and now it's 10:48. So here are all of your precipitation soldiers going on Northern California. Look at Arizona. Look at these intense, extremely low frequencies. Those storms that you had that killed 2 children and 1 is still lost, they were murdered. They were murdered. Look at New Mexico. Look at these storms that are taking place in Arizona. Look at how the rapidity with which this becomes more severe right here. Okay, this is not Mother Nature. This is man creating and controlling the storm. No, Mother Nature doesn't, sit up there and go, where are my cookie cutters? I want to cut out very defined pieces of my storm. All right. Look at this. Oops. Wrong one. Sorry. Well, look at these extremely low frequencies that we're belting away. This is the 28th at 1:34 a.m. Now, where is my... Look at this. Look at the pulse, the powerful pulse in New Mexico, and the immediacy of plasma erupting right here. Wow. Okie dokie. I am seeing very strange things on radar, which I've never seen before. So that storm in Arizona was manufactured, of course, the 28th at 11:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, the storm is pretty much gone, but here is your storm in let me make sure that I get to the right place. Hang on. All right, this is the 29th at 10:20 a.m. And this is your storm, but look at how bizarre this is, because they're like closing, they're using frequencies to keep this storm from going further north. Now, when they're using these frequencies with these air masses, they can create a whole lot of damaging weather. And that's exactly what they're doing. Look at the speed with which this storm in Arizona is taking place, but it's not, it's being held also in place just for that area, the Flagstaff, Phoenix area. And these frequencies, as you look at this, I mean, 29th, last night, or yesterday at 10:20 a.m. And I'm telling you, I am so sick of having some symptom induced externally by these sick, well, I won't curse, okay? I won't. But look at this. This is the 29th at 1 p.m. You see the air mass? You see the one underneath the air mass that's moving northeast? It is being held in place. Not moving at all. See the different composition of cloud? The microwaves, all of the ripples. You see this cloud mass, and down here in, is that the Gulf? It's not moving, but the air mass is moving above it, and it's also being microwaved. And look at the cloud mass in Mexico, and Mexico had flooding as well, right here. So you have the San Diego area, along with Baja California, and other areas right here in Mexico, flooded. And look at that. All of those clouds in a line, and they ain't moving. They're not moving. Look, right here. It's being held in place. All right. What we have been seeing, I mean, it's really, you can see it's almost like a square develops right here. There's the thickening of cloud right in Northern California. The air mass above is moving at a rather alarming speed, but the air masses below, some are being held in place, and they're going in every which way. Very, very dangerous. Okay, I will post a video on how man can move air masses around. All right, just want to go through this very briefly. Mexico, heavy rain. This is flood list. Flood list. All over the country. Not all the floods, but this is their homepage. Mexico, heavy rain and deadly floods, November 30. Malaysia, floods displaced, 2,000. Uganda, thousands affected by landslides. Kenya, over 100 dead, 18,000 displaced. I'm just going to go through, how about, I don't know, 7 days? 7 days. We're just to yesterday. And the frequencies on the mimic map, what's happening in Africa, wow. I have been noticing major frequencies in northern Africa. Brazil, torrential rain, flooding and landslides. More than a month's worth of rain fell in just 3 hours in the city of Salvador. Congo, 200,000 need aid after floods. Somalia, 500,000 affected by floods. Many are dying in these floods. Central African Republic, 100,000 affected by floods. Congo, dozens dead, floods, landslides. Italy and Greece. Italy has been hit with flash floods, an awful lot. 4 dead as storms and flooding hit. France, deadly floods hit southeast, November 25. Djibouti, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Okay. Deadly floods after 140 millimeters of rain in 2 days. Yeah, almost a year's worth of rain fell in 2 days. Kenya, 54 dead, dozens still missing. Congo, 50,000 affected. Iran, again, hundreds displaced as severe weather hits. Chad, 200,000 hit by floods, and it goes on. Page after page after page after page. And on this site, you can check out, well, your good old US of A. Let's see, US of A. US announces $30 million to bolster coasts from flooding. Rising seas. USA, storms and floods hit northeast. Rising seas threaten hundreds of Native American heritage sites along Florida's Gulf Coast. October 12th. Well, I flipped through the pages and I'm like, oh, you ain't capturing everything that's going on in the US of A. You know, man, oh man. Europe, Italy and Greece, France, Venice, and England's broken planning system has created the risk of floods. Well, England had massive flooding. Italy. All right. You know, in the Western nations, they're not really covering the massive amount of flash flooding and flooding that is occurring. Well, there's a reason. Okay, United Nations Refugee Agency, the Global Compact on Refugees adopted by an overwhelming majority in the United Nations General Assembly in December 2018, directly addresses this growing concern. It recognizes that climate, environmental degradation, and natural disasters, increasingly interact with the drivers of refugee movements. Have you heard the term climate refugee? Well, it's all over now. So they bring about these disasters, they create them by using weather as a weapon. 200,000, 100,000, 50,000, 500,000 displaced. What's going to happen with all of these people in all of these other nations? What's going to happen is that, well, the United, let me see, I have a lot of articles open, hang on. This is a really good site, Climate Change Dispatch. And the latest article, United Nations Summit to hear call for rich nations to pay climate reparations. Yeah. United Nations COP25 Climate Change Conference in Madrid, where Greta is, it's considering implementing taxes on developed countries to transfer wealth to nations dealing with the cost of drought, floods, and superstorms, made worse by rising temperatures. Yeah, more than 150 environmental groups said Friday. It said it Friday. They're urging agreement on the creation of a comprehensive financing facility, including debt relief for developing countries experiencing such disasters. While the disasters continue to mount because man is controlling the weather, bringing about all of these disasters to create the conditions where these refugees will have to go somewhere and someone's going to have to pay for it. And who is it going to be? It's going to be primarily the United States. The UN-sponsored Madrid conference is set to be dominated by discussions on so-called loss and damage funding, with a sharp divide between developing nations and richer polluters. We're the richer polluter. Do you know how many Americans are suffering? Do you know how many have been made homeless due to fires or flash flooding? Do you know how many farmers have been destroyed due to flash flooding and then snow and below, freezing temperatures during harvest season? But you don't hear about the Americans who are suffering. You hear about those who are suffering in developing countries. Now, we know that we are being brought down to third world status. But all of the people suffering in this country will be ignored. And we're going to pretend that's not happening. And they're going to hit you. They're going to develop a global tax. A global tax. Okay. So, green groups this week claimed the increased pace and intensity of climate disasters, such as the twin cyclones that devastated parts of Mozambique, means that funding needs boosting to keep track. They said the amount needed for loss and damage would top $300 billion annually by 2030. Wow. So I guess they have really long-range forecasting. They know they're going to need $300 billion annually. Annually. So we've got another, 10 years? But they know they're going to need that. All right, President Donald Trump officially withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accord last month. No, look. All right. Mayors, the Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, the climate change, the Paris Agreement has been signed on to by, I think, now it's 424 mayors all over the country. And they're signing an international treaty, but President Trump has never said anything about that. It's the president's job to negotiate and sign international treaties. But now we have mayors, like in Anderson, South Carolina, the mayor signed on to the Paris Agreement. How does that work? Well, people are doing whatever the hell they want to do because we don't have that government that a lot of people think we do. So it doesn't matter what he says. The Paris Agreement is still being implemented in the United States. So what he said was, in order to fulfill my solemn duty to protect America and its citizens, the United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord. Compliance with the accord could have cost the United States as much as 2.7 million lost jobs by 2025. And that's what Trump said. And he went further. This includes 440,000 fewer manufacturing jobs. Not what we need. Manufacturing is pretty much dead in our country. This guy lies through his teeth boldly, outrageously, all the time. Manufacturing is pretty much dead. The economy is so like in free fall. People losing jobs all over the place, and this is the lie. This is the big lie that a whole lot of people clearly like to listen to. But how come we don't hear about China? Greta never mentions China. And China is opening 17 new coal mines. Oh. Do you think China is going to be contributing to that global tax like America is? No, but also just want to show you. Pope Francis. Yeah, we don't talk too much about the Jesuits. The sick, twisted, psychopathic, unbelievably, the Jesuits. Pope Francis wants ecological sin added to Catholic catechism. Catholics have enough guilt that they have to kind of, slouch through life. Do you really need to add more sins? I mean, look, the moment we were born or conceived, well, we were sinners. So really, come on, Franny, leave us alone. I'm actually Catholic. Not obviously, not religious, not at all. But yeah, another sin, ecological sin. Because Pope Francis is a major driver of Agenda 2030 and the reshaping of the world. So, I am going to be this is quite the article, but if you don't want to listen to me, click on the link below. Read it yourself. Read it yourself. So we have weather warfare. People are dying because weather is being used as a weapon. Because we can't get through to the majority of our fellow citizens in our respective countries, this will continue. And those who are working the Agenda 2030 climate change business are getting the job done. Well, it pisses me off that they're getting the job done, while it seems that all we can do is post videos, do research, learn information, and just watch all of this. Just watch it. Let's watch the world get destroyed. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. All links are below. Stay safe, everybody. Stay safe.